Well, it's a very good morning from him, and of course, it's a very good morning from me. I hope you're well. I hope all is good with you. Welcome to my mortgage live stream. Let's go straight on air so that we can show it's live. Welcome to October. It's in the autumn, but it's a real lovely week this week. It's really hot this week, apparently. Well, not hot. Crikey, 22, 23 degrees is hot as far as the UK is concerned. So if you're dialing in, if you're from not these shores and you're used to hot temperatures, then that's the way the UK people roll, isn't it? Welcome to my live stream. Got some updates for you on MCOBs today, because we need to, don't we? But then I've got a little technique for you that's going to revolutionize the way you sell protection, and that's coming up at the end. And a little trade secret for you, which I'm going to give away for free today. I hope all is well with you. I hope everything's good and life's treating you well. Bit of a bullish week last week for the mortgage market. Good signs coming in for next year, maybe. There's some reports this morning that people are, or brokers are seeing this marketplace as almost like the lockdown period, where for the first 6 to 8 months, up until about sort of July, August time of 2020, it was very quiet, wasn't it? Everyone was waiting, and then things just took off. So maybe, just maybe, we could be looking for a good year next year. We'll see. With 4% rates looking quite stable now. Anyway, enough of that. You probably know all that, don't you? So let's get on to my first topic, which is MCOB 3, and then we're going to take a look at MCOB 4, and then we've got my little trade secret. Shh, don't tell everybody about that one. It's a secret for us. Okay, MCOB 3 for you. And I'm going to go over to that whiteboard for you to enjoy MCOB 3. Okay, we're over here now. So welcome to MCOB 3, Marketing of Mortgages. Now, as you're aware, of course, MCOBs have been around for 20 years next year, of course, the anniversary. And when they were created, of course, the world was quite different 20 years ago. We have much more technology now, and they're making some amendments to it, and I'll share those with you as well. So the first point about MCOB 3, which is written up here, is it's about promoting or marketing your mortgage practice. Trying to get customers to talk to you about mortgages, to sit down and go through a mortgage interview process, really. I mean, back in the day when I started off, we used to do door knocking, and we used to make cold calls. Life was very different then. Because in 2004, when MCOB came along, they prevented many of these things happening. First of all, if you're going to be promoting advertising for mortgages and so appropriate, products and protection products and things, you have to be FCA authorized to do so, as you can appreciate. So the Financial Conduct Authority needs to authorize you to do this. And if you're part of a firm, part of a network, for example, they will want to authorize all of your financial promotions and check them. So you've probably got your own compliance department to do that. Now, if it's general kind of branding advertising, like Lloyds Bank and their horses running across some beach somewhere in South Wales, that's brandy kind of stuff. That doesn't actually need to be authorised effectively, although Lloyds Bank probably run it past their compliance team. Of course they do. But if it's promoting a specific product or service, then of course it needs to be authorised as well. We're quite happy with that as well. Now, the people that are under the spotlight at the moment are finfluencers or influencers. These are people online, of course, who like to promote the products. Here's a lovely little picture of some finfluencers for you. There are various, I just love those photographs, don't you? They look so happy. Their life is so perfect online, isn't it? So these people, of course, are promoting financial products on TikTok and Instagram. You can see those on YouTube as well. And it's a massive area for promoting financial services products, particularly amongst the younger generation. And I get it totally. So, of course, things like, there's a little TikTok emblem there for you. I think it looks like something like that. Are under the spotlight with the FCA. They're keeping an eye on them at the moment because they're not particularly following the rules. We'll come on to that. So what are the rules then? Well, first of all, they do distinguish two types of financial promotion. They call it real-time and non-real-time. Now, real-time or real-time promotions, yes, put up there for you. Real-time promotion is where you have somebody, a financial advisor or somebody in marketing or maybe one of your paraplanners or whatever it is, talking to a customer direct. There you go. Hi, says the financial plan. It's like my picture to you. It's in the moment. You're talking to a customer. A friend of mine does wedding fairs as a mortgage advisor. He goes down to wedding fairs and has a stand and everything. He loves it because he gets lots of referrals, both for people buying property, but also from gran and granddad who want to release equity to fund the daughter's wedding, which I think is really cool. Now that's real time, of course, and there you need to be specific and you need to follow the rules. Of course you do. We'll come on to those in a second. The other one is non-real time. Now, non-real time, as you can probably appreciate, is the opposite of real time. And this is pretty much, where you've got like a poster, for example, or an advert or something like that, advertising your products and all the bits and stuff at the bottom. Now, if it's non-real time, of course, you then need to adhere to the rules. And there are quite specific rules on this one. So, for example, the non-real time advertisement must show the firm's details, of course. It must be fair, clear, and not misleading. Naturally, all advertising needs to be. It has to have the repossession risk at the bottom, or the equity release risk as well. And if it's promoting a particular product, you need to be confirming the APRC, or the annual percentage rate, and the terms of the product, which is why you see the blurb at the bottom. Now, this is one that I dug out earlier for you. This is an advertisement for you, which is for equity release. And you can see this chap here, looks a very smiley guy. You don't need a photograph of the advisor, but he's got one there for you. And as you can appreciate, there's highlights and stuff there. Down at the bottom there, you've got all of the blurb there, as I call it. All of the risk warnings, the advice fee there he's quoted. He's given you the fact that your equity release might affect your entitlement to means tested benefits because he's doing equity release, your home's at risk, all those sort of things would come into it. And details about the product and the company and his details as well. So that's, if you like, advertisements, posters, leaflets, brochures. We don't tend to do too much of those, although online, of course, you can have banner advertising and stuff like that. Now, when you're doing real-time promoting, you do have to adhere to the cold calling, and I'll call it its proper name, code of conduct. Now, you're not allowed to do cold calling anymore. You haven't been able to do that for 19 years for mortgage purposes, and they're going to ban it for all financial advising. And rightfully so. Who picks up a cold call nowadays anyway? It's just ridiculous, isn't it? With all these financial scams going on, they generally start with some kind of cold call. So you're not allowed to do that. But if you do make a call to somebody on your database, or maybe you've bought a lead from the internet and you're making a call to somebody who's kind of expecting your call, although there is a very grey area on that one, then you've got to adhere to the code of conduct. And it's the classic stuff like, proper hours. So you're not allowed to make phone calls after sort of 9 o'clock at night, which actually personally is a bit late anyway, isn't it? 8 o'clock's quite late. You have to show who you are, identify yourself clearly. You've got to check it's okay for the client to talk, and you've got to be able to give them an ability to end the call any time. That's what they call a code of conduct. Now, of course, most people make phone calls to existing clients or old orphan clients or a database that you've got as well, and I get all that. But the bought leads from the internet that you purchase for £100, for example, are skirting the edges now, and the FCA are a little bit worried about that. Consumer duty has come in, of course, we know about that. And consumer duty has made it responsible for all advisors to be responsible for the customer's journey. And we get all that, and we do anyway. Financial advisors, mortgage advisors, we have a proper meetings step-by-step process. But these lead farms often leave it a little bit woolly. The client puts their details in a box, phone number, etc., and maybe they just want a bit more information, but they suddenly get a phone call out of the blue. So these lead farms are going to make it crystal clear what is the next part of the journey, and many of them are dragging and kicking their heels on that one. So social media itself then is where it's at, as you can probably appreciate. The FCA are definitely investigating the finfluencers now, because they want finfluencers to adhere to the MCOB rules. And rightfully so, they should do too. They want the lead farms now to be responsible for the journey under consumer duty. So I don't know what sort of changes this is going to make moving forward. I can see finfluencers few of them dropping out. Who's going to police it? I don't know. There's millions of them, aren't there? But the FCA have got some teeth here, and they are actually looking at that area because it does cause a lot of scams to start with. And these people are advertising financial promotions. They're not authorized. It's not fair. We have to go through authorization, all those things. So I think that'll dampen that side of things down as well. The lead farms, I can see the number of lead farms contracting as well. So it may well be that we need to look at other forms of promoting. And the best way, of course, is client referrals and things like that. But that's a conversation for another day. So there we have MCOB 3, Marketing of Mortgages. Hope that's been useful. Bye. Well done. Well done. Okay. So that's the first MCOB for you, which I promised that we would go through and enjoy. What I'd like to do now is head over to MCOB 4, which is the next MCOB. Just a quick review for you of MCOB 4. So let's go there now, shall we? Let's go across there now. Okay, welcome to MCOB 4, initial disclosure. Now, this is something that advisors do when they first meet a customer. We talk a lot about the mortgage discovery meeting. So I'm going to put that over here for you. We call it a mortgage discovery meeting. And we teach new advisors to set up a mortgage discovery meeting for 15, 20 minutes, whatever it requires, in order to connect with the client or customer at that point. Of course, they're not a client, are they, until they've signed and do business with you. To connect with the customer, to build the rapport, the trust, go through all the disclosure, etc., talk about fees and everything, and gain agreement to proceed with the next stage. So this mortgage discovery call is a particularly useful way of operating. What you need to do there, of course, is as soon as you meet the customer or at the appropriate time, is to disclose. You have to give what's called initial disclosure. Now, in the old days, they used to call it an initial disclosure document, an IDD. But actually, you don't actually need a document anymore. Not a lot of people are aware of that one. But most advisors do, and I'll show you an example one in a second. But you do need to have your IDD on a durable form document. It needs to be of a durable form. So a PDF would work because customers could print that off if you like. So it's obviously digital. But you don't need a proper piece of paper with initial disclosure document. But a lot of advisors do, and I get that totally. So what is the IDD then? Well, the IDD is your chance to disclose to the customer how you operate, your authorization, and make the customer feel comfortable, safe, and secure that you are fully authorized, experienced, and good to go. So it really is a sales opportunity for you to build that trust, build that rapport as well. So what do you need to do on that one? First of all, you need to highlight how you operate when it comes to products. So I'll call that the range of products. Now here, you obviously confirm to the customer that you are authorized for the FCA in whatever way you are, via a network or principal or directly authorized. Doesn't really matter. You tell the customer how that all works. But you are authorized to give advice on one of three ways of operating. You can be what we call WOM, or whole of market. We love that phrase, don't we? Whole of market means that you have access to the entire marketplace for mortgage products. Now, if you're going to be giving advice on protection as well, you'll need to do the same thing for protection. So whole of market for mortgage advice is the key one. So you have access to all the lenders, you see, using your sourcing software, which is incredibly expensive and you have to pay licensing fees, but it gives you access to all of the lenders. Now, oddly enough, actually, whole of market advisors don't have access to every single lender. There are a few lenders that don't use that kind of arrangement. You have to have a separate connection with them. Private banks, for example, may not be on all the sourcing software. So although you're whole of market, you probably don't have access to every single one, but that's not the point really. The point is you have access to the majority of them as well. You can have a limited range. There we go. A limited range where you probably have sort of 5, 6, 7 lenders that you use. That makes sense. In reality, actually, a lot of brokers, advisors tend to do that anyway. It's true, however you look at it. I bumped into a brand new advisor who was training the other day. She did some coaching with me. And her boss, the governor of the firm, is a bit old school, and he only uses 4 lenders. She said he only ever uses 4 lenders. They cover every angle because he doesn't use sourcing engines. He didn't like all that. This guy is very old school. No, don't knock it. This is the way it was. The other one, of course, is single product. So you might only be a lender, for example. You might be a mortgage advisor for a lender, Yeah, therefore you're only going to sell that lender's products, aren't you? That's the first thing. The next thing you need to talk about is money, remuneration. I love that phrase, don't you? Remuneration, fees, whatever you want to look at it. Let's put it in there. Remuneration. It's a hell of a word, isn't it? Now, when I talk to clients and customers, it's all about earning a living, isn't it? And I always share. Let me just tell you. Let me share with you how I earn a living, rather than what is my fee. It's all a bit over the top, isn't it? So you need to talk about your fees. You need to talk about how you earn a living, and of course, you've got two types. You've got your broker fee, and you talk about how much that is, when it's payable, etc. And this is why we have the mortgage discovery meeting, you see, because this one's complimentary, it's free. But after this one's finished, you then start charging your broker fee. So it's chargeable, as soon as you start doing the first meeting and all those good things. You may not charge a broker fee, and I'm not asking whether you should or not. That's another conversation. But the other one is proc fees. These are the introductory fees you get from the lenders. And you need to give the customer a rough idea what that's going to be, even though they don't pay it. And you make the point, of course, this comes from the lender as part of their marketing costs, because they don't need to have a great big sales force of people selling their mortgages. They use me, but they pay me a little bit of a fee for that purpose. So you've got to give them an indication of the fee. And that makes sense. So it's broker fee, of course, and you should charge that if you're a smaller firm, and the proc fee as well. You're a professional. All other professionals charge fees. Accountants, solicitors, estate agents, they all charge, architects, they all charge fees for their professional advice. So should you too. Anyway, another story for another day. Now, a couple of things you're probably not aware of, you may have come across, you may not have come across, and I'll put it over here for you, is a remortgage. If you're doing a remortgage, and many advisors are at the moment, because everyone's fixed rates coming to an end and they're either product transferring or remortgaging, aren't they? If you're doing a remortgage, you do have to make the customer aware of the other types of options that could suit them. So further advance, for example, a second charge, a personal loan might be an option. So in the initial disclosure, if it is a remortgage you're looking at, you do need to let the customer be aware that you are going to look at other options for them as well. And that's part of the advice process, as you can probably appreciate. So I'll show you an example of an initial disclosure document in a second or two, but this is also your opportunity to do all the other things you've got to do. So, for example, you'll need to look at anti-money laundering at this point. You'll need to talk about that and some identification that you require as well. You'll need to talk about the compensation system and complaints, how complaints can be made, and the financial services compensation scheme to show the customer that they are protected. And there is an external protection for complaints and things like that. You want to be laying down your value proposition at this point, how you work, how you operate, your value proposition. At this point, a lot of good advisors sow the seed for introductions later, referrals. So this is something people talk about a lot. They say that they like to spend all their time with customers to give you the best possible service. So I don't like spending my time on anything else really, apart from customer focused work. So to grow my business, I rely entirely on introductions from satisfied customers. That saves me doing all sorts of advertising and marketing. But we'll ask for that later when I've given you this fabulous service. So all those things come into their own. Let's have a quick look at an example for you of a form which I dug out from the internet. This is all public knowledge. There's no secrets here to this one. This one is a IDD. You probably can't see that, so I will zoom in a little bit for you as well. This is a mortgage initial disclosure from Mike Oliver Associates. Hello, Mike. Thank you for sharing this with us. Now, Mike's done the right thing here, of course. He talks about, what products do we offer? Mortgages. We offer products in the relevant market. We're not limited in the range of mortgages we will consider you and can offer you advice on both first and second charges. We offer a comprehensive mortgage from across the market, so he's whole of market there. We offer an advised sales service, of course. Over here, fees. So there's a fee of £600 payable on application. Yeah, application for the mortgage itself. We'll also be paid commission from the lender, so there's the fee pace there as well. Refund of fees, of course. You've got to know who regulates us. So we're authorised by the FCA Direct. So well done, you. Permitted business is adding advising non-investment insurance contracts, regulated mortgages, and there's the FCA as well. And on the last page, he's gone here, what to do if you have a complaint. So obviously write the company first. I'll be covered by the FOS, which they are. Mortgages, and there's the client declaration. There's a little signature box there as well. I like it. It's all right. He's done a great job. Well done, Mike. That's the typical initial disclosure that's going on. But use the opportunity, initial disclosure, to build trust, build rapport. Use it as a way of establishing trust, security, minimize risk. Talk about all the things that go on, but also talk about the fees at this point, how you earn your living, and get agreement to move forward. And then the clock starts at that point, and the fee is then payable on application. So I think that's a great way of operating. That's MCOB 4. Bye. Well done. Good work. So a little bit of an update for you. That's all it is. If it's CPD, I get that. If you're learning CMAP, that's a great way of learning it, isn't it? Better than reading some of the books sometimes, I suppose. Now, here comes a trade secret for you. Hope you're well, by the way. Hope you're good. Hope you're enjoying your autumn, and all is fine with you. So here's the trade secret I promised you. Now, this one's all about guardians. I call this guardians of the universe. I don't know what I just do, and I'm talking about a trade secret for you. So let's get on to trade secrets for you. Let's put me up the top there as well, so you can see me as well. Now, I'm talking about a trade secret for mortgage advisors, and I talk here about guardians. And that's the secret, guardians. Now, when people talk about guardians, they often think about Guardians of the Galaxy, all these superheroes that seem to be dominating the movie business at the moment, which is a bit crazy, isn't it, when it comes to it? But what I'm talking about here, though, is this situation. Here we have a lovely, well, it's actually quite a sad picture in a funny kind of way, because we got a little kid there on the left, and we got looks like his gran. What's happened here is that his parents died tragically in an accident on the M20. He simultaneously died instantly, and he's on his own. He had no one to look after. But Gran stepped in to become his legal guardian, and she does a great job at looking after him. Now, that's fantastic. Most parents, though, don't have any arrangements for guardians. It might be an informal thing, and actually relying on Gran to do it is a bit hard, really, because she's got to find a lot of money to look after this kid now, bring him up, because it's expensive. She may not have the time, the want, she might not be healthy to do so. We don't know, do we? So here's the question you need to put into your fact find, which not every fact find has. It's quite a simple question, and this is what it looks like for you. What guardian arrangements have you made for your children? And that's simply the question. What guardian arrangements have you made for your children? And the customer will probably say, well, I haven't, or I have, or what does that mean? And that's great, because it starts a conversation and you can talk about what a guardian is. Because legally, of course, if the child's parents both die, they go into care. And that's not a lot of fun for anybody, is it? So they need to nominate somebody to be the guardian. Now, this gets put into formal documentation. Typically, the will will have that in there. Who's the formal guardian will be in the will. But you see, guardians need money to look after the kids. So it's a great opportunity now for you to look at family protection. Not the mortgage, that's sorted and done with, isn't it? This is family protection, just to provide money for the family. So you do a couple of single policies, whatever is needed, but you need to put them into trust, you see, because the trust is important. So you put them into trust for beneficiaries. And the beneficiaries usually are the children, but the trustees, who are the people who don't spend the money but look after the money effectively, can be the guardians. Think about that logically, because if the child is very young, the guardians, of course, as trustees, will then determine how the money is used to look after the children. They're in charge of it, if you like. So get some legal advice if they want to. Of course, they're talking to a lawyer, remember, and look up the details if you wish to. You could make the grandparents one of the beneficiaries as well under a discretionary trust. But remember, trustees decide under a discretionary trust where it all goes. But yeah, you can sell some life insurance at this point, and I think that's a really good thing to do. So that's Guardians of the Universe, which I think that's brilliant, isn't it? Don't you think? Okay, so that wraps up our live stream this morning. I'm going to enjoy the rest of your day. I certainly am going to enjoy the rest of my day as well. I'm off to London again this week. I'm speaking at a conference on Thursday for a big mortgage broker, so I'm looking forward to that. So up to town, up to the smoke, a couple of times actually, in about a month, which I've really enjoyed as well. So that's what I'm up to. Lots of things going on, of course, in Tivoli Studios. So I'm going to wish you the very best. Don't forget, of course, if you're on my database, no need to worry about this. But if you're not, there's the QR code to get onto our member database. We've got loads of things coming up this autumn which are free for you. So snap that QR code. If you don't have that available to you, just find a little box somewhere on our website so you can sign up to our member database, or just email me. Happy to take that along the way, because that's all good news, isn't it? Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic a week ahead of you. Enjoy everything that life is going to throw at you with good weather and all those things, and I'll see you next week.